I'm going to answer a couple questions about menopause. That's why I started talking more about this. First of all, as a background, I've worked out since I was 17 in one way or another, whether it was weights and videos at my house when my kids were little or at a gym with a trainer sometimes. I've done fitness competitions. I've been on endurance running teams. I didn't work out when COVID happened. And COVID's timing was interesting for me because it was also when I went post-menopause and I had an issue with my foot called Morton's neuroma, which is a lot of inflammation and pain. Other than that couple years of downtime, I've exercised my whole life. That portion of my journey has been very consistent. And that was what made my menopause journey more of a surprise. I thought because I've eaten healthy and I've exercised my whole life, I'd kind of just get through menopause sort of gracefully. And I got through it more like a 2x4 to the head. I'm going to answer some questions, and I love this. It's what were your symptoms? And what did you do for it? First of all, there are a lot of symptoms that I didn't have. And when you search this pretty massive list of all the things that can go sideways, there are a tremendous amount. It's not talked about, it's not researched. Doctors honestly don't know the answers. I do have someone that I follow that is an expert. Doesn't mean I always agree with her, but it does mean she's got some amazing information on menopause. The symptoms I had, other than hot flashes for a decade, from when I was 38 to 48 in 2018. When those ended, the perimenopause or postmenopause symptoms really started to kick my butt. One of the biggest things that happened was weight gain. And I think that that's a super easy thing for women to notice. I gained 13 pounds in 9 months, and then I gained 27 pounds in 22 months. In 2021, I'd had enough. I was really doing a better job at tracking food, starting to move my body again. I also got my blood work done, and I knew I was post-menopause. The first thing I did was found a functional medicine doctor, and I got testosterone and estrogen cream and progesterone pills. I did them for several months and really didn't see a difference. It was pretty expensive. I could only get it in one place. It was a hassle to get it. You couldn't get your prescription early. I wasn't seeing any difference except that the progesterone was helping me sleep. From that time in 2021, when I tried the cream and I knew I was postmenopause, to now, and tracking my diet and tracking my exercise more, trying to rebalance my adrenal system, there have been a lot of symptoms. Other than the weight gain, I was puffy. My hands were puffy. I couldn't wear my wedding ring anymore. My feet were puffy. My stomach, an area that I'd never really had an issue gaining weight in. I had not only gained weight, but I just felt so bloated all the time, which leads me into the next thing, and that's my GI tract. I had a hysterectomy at 33, 20 years ago. And since then, I've always had to keep good track of my GI system, but this was different. My stomach was never happy. It was upset all the time. I felt like maybe I was having reactions to foods. I had mood swings. My husband described me as being less patient. I know that I was irritated more easily, and I wanted to cry every afternoon. Just wanted to sit down and cry for absolutely no reason. Very unlike me. My moods, though, were less stable. They switched faster and more strongly than they normally did. Insomnia. I could not sleep. I would lay there for hours waiting to fall asleep. And then at about 2 or 3 in the morning, I'd wake up and be up for an hour or two. I got up to pee 3 times a night, which brings me into incontinence, stress incontinence, urge incontinence. I basically felt like I was going to pee myself all the time. Anything could be a trigger. It was not fun, not fun to talk about. I started wearing panty liners. I changed my clothes all the time. It was awful. Brain fog is very real. I had a really hard time concentrating. I would forget things. I had to write things down more. It was just frustrating to feel like I couldn't keep things straight. I had heart palpitations. And at first, because I was looking at what are the symptoms of menopause, anxiety is a big one. And I'd never had it before. So I thought maybe the heart palpitations were anxiety. And when I read the information, it wasn't quite the right fit for me. And then I continued to read and I learned about heart palpitations. And thank goodness, because there were times I thought I needed to go to the emergency room. That is an issue with menopause. Misdiagnosis of heart issues and having issues with your heart are not uncommon in menopause. And the heart palpitations just really were scary. I had debilitating headaches almost every single day. I would take ibuprofen when I woke up and I would count the hours until I could take something else. I also wanted some things to improve. My energy was down, my libido was terrible. I was not gaining muscle at all or losing fat. My workouts felt really hard. I felt like I had 2 choices, injections and pellet. I had no problem giving myself injections, but I felt like pellets were a more streamlined process. I go in and get the pellets at the very top of my butt. It feels like I ran into the corner of a table and I have a bruise on my butt. It's very easy. It's a short appointment. And then I don't have to come back for 3 or 4 months. I've had pellets twice now. I'm about a month into my second round. I was told that in the first round I would not lose weight, but that my body composition would change in the first 3 months. I lost 2 inches off my waist, an inch and a half off my hips, half an inch off my arms, and an inch off my thighs. I felt so much less puffy. All that puffiness went away. It was one of the first symptoms that disappeared. I could put my wedding ring back on. Headaches were really the first thing that I noticed. And then puffiness, and then heart palpitations. In that 4 to 6 week range, I felt like a new person. I had more energy. I was starting to sleep better. My libido was back. I couldn't believe how much I was pooping. My stomach felt better. It was like I was living underwater in a bubble, in a fog. I felt so disconnected from myself and from everyone around me. Within 6 weeks of getting pellet therapy, it was like I woke up. I forgot how great it felt to feel like my normal self. And I didn't realize how bad I felt. I had this list of symptoms and I knew I felt terrible. Feeling good really made me realize how bad I had been feeling. 4 months in and a month into my second round, I've lost 6 pounds. I'm starting to build muscle in the gym and lose fat. My body composition has continued to change. I've lost more in inches. I asked myself when I was first getting the pellets, if my weight never changes, but I feel better, will that be worth it? And 100% absolutely worth having hormone replacement therapy. My body is changing though, and I know that that will continue. And that's really exciting. I love the questions. Keep asking them. I will keep answering them. This has been awful and amazing. And just like as a doula working with women through infertility, pregnancy, miscarriage, labor and delivery, postpartum, we just don't talk about this stuff enough.